I'm just throwing that right in there. Welcome, you guys, to the Clair wrap-ups. I'm so excited for this class. I'm so excited to see you all here. So with this class, earlier, I asked all of you to bring something and don't show it. Don't show anybody, but bring something that reminded you of a loved one that had passed, or a picture or an item of theirs, or what have you. Something that holds their energy close to you still. So with that being said, we're going to utilize that in an exercise later. But in order to do so, we really, really are going to have to hone in on and focus on all of our energy being right here. So I created a meditation to begin and to ground us. Before working with them, I created another type of meditation. It's some people can call it a guided meditation. Some people can call it an exercise or practice, what have you, but it's definitely hopefully going to get everybody here and in the present. So before we begin that, I also wanted to make sure that everybody has some paper and a pen, as usual, so that you can write stuff down that comes through. And since it is the Clair wrap-ups class, we are going to begin again with that meditation, but also opening ourselves up and allowing ourselves to work with the energy, all the energy around us that is positive and full of light and protective. And that in that, I want you to write down when, if you feel something or smell something or taste something or get an image in your head, or you hear a name, or any of your clairs, if one of them starts going off, go ahead and write down whatever it is that is going through, or that is coming through. And we'll go over all of those in just a little bit after we do the exercise and the practice with all of the clairs. The reason I began with the Clair abilities is you utilize them you utilize all of them in mediumship. And in order to begin your journey through mediumship, you kind of have to understand and comprehend that certain portions of yourself that you need to put aside, practice with the clairs, with opening yourself up with these guided meditations, with your own meditation. And I thought that would be the best route to take when pushing towards mediumship abilities, was starting the clairs, or with the clairs. Hi guys. I just saw you guys pop up. Hi, Paul. Hello, Paul. That's that's my British. That's not good. I'm not good at that.
Did they
Hey,
change?
Maddie. That's my Southern. Okay, I'm
Did they
done.
change the shit for Tar Heel? They
Oh,
sure did. What's the password? Can you read that password out
boop. Got it. All right. So, what I was saying to everyone just now is in order to work with all the Clairs tonight, and in order to successfully do the practice exercise that I want to do with you guys, and I want you guys to do with each other, I asked everybody to bring something of value or importance. You're okay. That's totally fine. A value or importance that hi with from a loved one that has passed. So if you guys can grab that and have that with you while we go through this meditation, guided meditation, that will give the past loved one the energy that it needs in order to present themselves during class, and will allow us to work with them. And we are going to talk to them tonight, and we are going to feel them and sense them and smell them. And that sounds kind of weird saying taste them, but taste all the Clairs. We're going to use all the Clairs um in order to find your special person. Um,
Unfortunately, I don't have any pictures or any mementos from my parents. It's all gone.
that is totally fine. So what you want to do is, when we're doing these meditations, and before we go into that practice exercise that I'm talking about, I'm going to do a specific guided meditation where we go and um we see them, and we get to talk with them, and um at that point you can talk with them and let them know, like, hey, I need your help tonight. Can you come with me and help me out? And that's totally fine. So with that being said, oh, and Maddie, I think she might have been at work. And I will say the guided meditations, if any of you guys are at work or what have you, that's totally fine. Just don't be driving. That's all I ask. Um, it's not any form of hypnosis. It's not going to, it might make you drowsy just because of my really relaxing voice. I don't have a good relaxing voice, so I think we'll be good. Um, so with that being said, to are we ready to get grounded? You guys ready? Okay, you're grounded. Okay, so I am going to turn my video off while I do this guided meditation, and you guys can turn yours off as well. You can leave it on, whatever you feel comfortable doing. But let us begin. Okay. I want you all to close your eyes. Take a minute to focus on clearing your mind from all the stress, chaos, busyness, that has consumed you throughout your day or week so far by taking a deep breath of fresh air, making sure it consumes and expands each part of your lungs. When you exhale, I want you to blow out with force all of the crazy energy that has been consuming your thoughts. Deep breath in and blow it out and away. You can waft it away with your hands if you'd like as well. Take a minute to focus on the positive moments in your day today, or even something that happened this past weekend or week. And as you take another deep breath in, you to imagine breathing in all of those positive feelings that you felt in that special moment, allowing them to consume and expand your lungs with pure, unfiltered positivity. As you exhale, slowly breathe the air out, letting go of any craziness or busy energy left inside of your mind and your body. Now you can continue breathing normally. And if you feel it necessary, you can take deep breaths in and out as much as you need. With your eyes staying closed, I want you to imagine being directly under a starry, clear sky. And as you stare up at the stars, you start to notice it becoming sort of liquid looking. And the starry, clear, dark sky begins slowly pouring down like paint pouring out from a bucket. But it doesn't hit the ground, but rather seems to be continuing through it, down into the ground. You can see all the little stars glistening, and it looks like a waterfall of galaxies. You, of course, want to check it out, so you go over to it and feel it, and it feels like warmth and happiness. So you walk under it and let it soak your body like a waterfall of pure warmth and love and happiness. As you soak and sit underneath it, you begin to feel it not only on the outside, but also trickling down on the inside of your body, through your head, into your chest, and into your arms and stomach. And as it gets down to your thigh area, you begin to feel cool, earthy energy begin to push up through the soles of your feet. You start to realize the warm sky and the cool earth are magnetized. They are pulling towards each other through you. And as these two energies finally connect to each other near your knees, the starry night sky that has enveloped your body and soul suddenly becomes a huge beam of white light emanating from you outward, creating a big sphere around you of light. You can genuinely feel the power of this energy moving through you right now. It feels fuzzy and still warm and glowing, but also kind of cool and earthy as well. You can literally feel as though absolutely nothing can get into this sphere of light that surrounds you, even if they tried. They would be pushed back from its strong, unwavering energy that it's putting off. And this is the place that we will stay in for the rest of this class, and even after if you prefer. So let's begin. You can now open your eyes. All right. How did that feel for everybody? You guys feel good and powerful with your beam? Oh, just that feeling of the strength. I love it. Okay, so in doing that, that is a way to, again, ground, get rid of all of the craziness, get into the moment after a really, really hard nap, and become present again. So with that being said, I'm going to go straight into this next meditation because this one is a longer one, and I think now that we are in that solid, positive, strong place with each other, I think it's a good time to go and meet your loved ones. So all right. So I want you to keep your mind clear and take a minute and close your eyes again. And this time, I want you to imagine you're walking through the forest barefoot. The sun is shining through the trees. The birds are singing in the trees. And chipmunks are being busy gathering berries in the bushes. I want you to just look around at all of the beauty and hear all of the beauty. Smell the smells. Taste the crisp air. Maybe some water out of a creek. Feel the happiness and warmth. And as you're looking around and experiencing all of these feelings and sights and smells and tastes, you notice there's an opening between the trees ahead of you. And then you realize that there's a valley, an open field just out past those trees. And as you're looking at it, you hear a howl, like a loud but subtle wolf howling. And as you start to approach and walk towards that valley, the closer you get, the more you notice there's something in front of you in the field. So you get closer and walk towards it. And then you finally realize it's a giant, beautiful across the valley from you in the field. And before you could even get scared or feel fear, you suddenly hear in your mind, I am your friend. I am here to guide you. Please do not be afraid of me. My name is Shira, and I love you. You immediately begin walking towards her. As she meets you halfway in the field, you reach your hand out and she bows her head while closing her eyes gently, allowing you to pet her head. She looks up at you and tells you from this point forward, you can talk with her, ask her anything that you want, and it can all be with your inner voice instead of having to speak vocally to her. She tells you she has someone very special waiting for you in a sacred place and is here to guide you to them. As you walk next to her, scratching her back and feeling her coarse, thick fur between your fingers, you ask her any questions that you may have. They can be about life, about where she comes from, about where you are, whatever you want. And she will answer every question. So take a minute to walk with Shira and receive the answers that she has for you. And if you'd like, you can write these answers down while you go along. It seems as though you have lost track of how long you've been walking with her, and she stops and looks ahead while saying, "This is your sacred place." As you look up, you see a beautiful place from your childhood. Whether it be your grandma's house, your own childhood home, Disneyland, you see that happy place surrounded by the forest. And it is just so magical. And you feel so happy to be back there. Shira tells you to go inside, and you will meet the special person you have come to see. So with that, you begin to walk toward the entrance. The sun's warmth beams all around you, and you can feel its warmth and continues to follow you as you enter into this wonderful place. You walk in the door or the entry and see that person you have brought an item to class for. With seeing them, you immediately run to them and completely engulf yourselves in a long overdue hug. And you tell them how much you have missed them, and they tell you how much they have missed you. And then they tell you to come and sit with them. They guide you to two soft, fluffy, cozy chairs that feel like clouds. And you begin to talk with them. You can answer any questions they may have. You can ask them questions that you may have. Whatever you want, this is your sacred place. And this is for you two to enjoy. And if you'd like, you can write down any of the sights, the smells, the tastes, the sounds, whatever it is that you are feeling right now. So, while you are talking with them, while you are answering their questions and laughing and talking about each other and the memories you guys have had, you ask them to please help you from this point moving forward with your ability to open up, to understand the ways that you two can communicate so that you can hear them and you can see them and you can feel them and their messages from now on without issue. And they will agree because that's all that they have been wanting. They will agree to help you. And you ask them to please open up and allow for us all within this class tonight to work with them, to speak with them, and vice versa. But only during this class and only with these people in this class and at this time, so that we can all learn how to understand this way of communication more. And once again, they will agree because they want nothing more than to see you grow and to see and feel that ability to contact you and to stay in contact with you. So once they agree to help all of us, let them know that you will be back regularly to this sacred place. And you will see them again soon. You give them one last hug and a kiss, and you begin to walk back out to Shira the wolf. And Shira smiles at you, seeing how much this experience has enlightened you. She takes you back to where you two had met before, and she tells you she will always be here to guide you back to your sacred place whenever you want her to. So once you reach the field and the valley, you begin to walk back toward the forest and the birds and the chipmunks and the trees. And you begin to slowly come back into the present. And once you are ready, open your eyes and we will begin our next beautiful journey with working with your abilities.
I didn't want to leave.
None of us do,
No.
but that's the beauty in having that place. You can always go there. And I tend to find myself going there more often than wanting to stay in this reality. It becomes comfortable and cozy.
It's like a little bit of heaven.
It literally, that is exactly what it is. And you can do that. You can go there, and it doesn't have to just be that one person. You can go and you can see, you can have a Christmas party with everyone that you want to come. All you have to do is invite them. They'll be there. They'll be waiting. Okay, so now that they are present and they are with you and their energy is so excited, knowing that you have found that space, you have found that place, and you have the ability to see them and to be with them as much as you want, and you have realized that they are not gone. They've been here this whole time. That's exciting to them, and it's just as exciting to us. So with that, the feelings are overwhelming, and sometimes it is difficult to see these incredible, beautiful souls that you haven't seen or felt for a very long time. And I want you to literally absorb those emotions. Allow the tears, allow the feelings, allow everything and anything, any emotion. And so, so the exercise I want to do now is I want to practice with our guides, and I want them to pick one of us and it not be the person that they're close to, connected to. I want them to pick one of us in the class to come to and to describe themselves to. And I want all of us to maintain this openness, maintain this protection, but also to allow them to come through. And anything you see, you hear, you smell, you taste, I want you to write it down. And I don't want you to second guess yourself. I don't want you to second guess them. Anything. It could be something so off the wall and doesn't make sense, but it'll probably make sense to somebody in this class. So go ahead and we can begin doing that right now.
I think, Jordy, I need some more instruction as to what I'm doing.
So what we are doing right now is what you want to do is you want to try and you can ask them, you can ask any energy that is the energy of one of our loved ones here in the class to come forward and to describe themselves, either by allowing you to get an image of them in your head or hear. You could hear a name, you could hear a voice tone so that you know whether it's male or female, a smell, a taste. And we're using our clairs to hone in on a specific energy, and that of which that's not the that of which that's not your own past loved one. Does that make more sense, Andrea?
Yeah, it does a bit. It helps. Thank you.
Okay. And even if you just want to let your hand start scribbling, writing words, that that can work as well.
Is there something that I'd be ready to be able to say who it is that I'm seeing, describing the person?
So what you want to do is you don't want to think too far into it. Just whatever comes to you, comes to you. And it could be, you know, whatever comes to you, just write it down and don't think too far into it. Just allow your mind to stay clear and open, and that milky sky energy to continue pouring through your body down into the ground and back up. And just focusing on that, you may receive messages, words, names, images, while focusing on the milky sky and it going through your body. You can also go back to your sacred place if you need to and ask your spirit guide, your significant person. You can ask them to help you hone in on this, and they can be the third party messenger for you as well. So while you guys are doing this, I want you to send out a message to the loved one that you just went and saw. And I want you to ask them to send one of us some kind of symbolism, some kind of um, specific type of message so that we know when they're talking about our person. Because I think some of us may have, you know, some of our people may look alike and whatnot. So let's ask them for some kind of symbolism to specify that. How's everyone doing? Still need a minute? You guys look tired. Okay. Think we're good. Are we good? So I want everybody to understand that this is the first time for a lot of you, honing in on all senses on a specific person or soul or energy or spirit. And a lot of times when you first begin, or when you begin after a while of not having these abilities opened up or accessed, a lot of stuff comes through all at once, or nothing comes through. So I don't want you to feel discouraged if it seemed overwhelming or if it seemed underwhelming. That's completely normal and that's okay. It's just like any other muscle in your body, so to speak. If you practice with this, if you continue to go into this space and talk with your loved one or loved ones, the messages will begin to be more clear and be more understanding and understandable. So I see in the chat some people have shared. So I'll read them aloud. And if there's anyone of you guys that this resonates with, let me know. I was telling a spirit, Jen says, I was telling a spirit I can't participate because I'm about to vacuum. And she said, I could still speak of her. That's fair. So before I vacuum, I have a middle-aged woman before me who is kind of severe, but not in a bad way. She keeps saying grandmotherly to me. She is tall and she wants us to know that she's here. And short brown hair, hazel eyes. And I got the name Emily when you said names, but I don't think it's correlated with her. So does any of that resonate with anyone? So everything except for the Emily resonated with me. When I read that, I was like, that's my Nana.
Yeah.
I felt that. She was tall, which when I read that, I was like, yeah, that's fair. But not just tall, but she would 100% be not so much severe, but abrupt, I guess. Is that what you were referring to, Jenny? And the short brown hair and the hazel eyes, that definitely resonated with me, with her being middle-aged. I asked her to send you a symbol. So if you could just sit with that and see what comes up, whether, whatever it may be, that would be awesome. And that would clarify if that is who you spoke with. So Andrea says, I saw a blonde-haired lady in the 50s with a wide dress and dark red lipstick who loved to dance with herself. Oh, and I smelled cigarette smoke. She also wore a strand of pearls. She also liked to listen to the radio with that era's music. So does anybody, does that resonate with anyone? Someone who, a female who liked 50s music and dancing with herself? Not yet. No? Okay. So with that, let's see. The symbol I'm seeing, a black square, but is white in the middle. No, no. I specifically told her, and she knows what I'm looking for. I was like, this is what you're going to send, because you and I both know that nobody else knows this. Which, okay, so with that being said, I always tell people not to do that, right? Like, don't be so specific, right? And here I am, like, I swear to God, you better come through, girl, you better come through. But the black square, but is white in the middle, that doesn't resonate with me, but also it can be something that I'm just not thinking of because I'm honing in on what it was that I told her to come through with. Oh, a horse running. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm scribbling, sorry. I tend to scribble when I'm trying to process messages. So I'm gonna say mine and see if it resonates with anyone. Blonde hair, like sandy, like dirty blonde hair, female, early 30s I put, and then I got 32. fireworks or like a firework, was sad and had a hard life. 2 kids, boy and girl. But now she's happy and she's jumping around and laughing. I heard tell her it's KJ. I first heard J and then I heard K. So it could be KJ or JK for initials. Or it could be a name. JK. No. And then I got beads. Ask her about the beads or necklace. Or necklace. So does that resonate with anyone? Oh shit, there it is. So Jody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So is it like would it maybe be strawberry blonde? Her hair?
yeah, it was like a sandy yeah. Okay, so with that being said, I scribbled out red hair and put blonde hair. So
That's
it
wild.
first, it first came through as red, and then I got the image of her like looking like this, like hello.
Yeah.
And I scratched that out and put blonde. And I have chills up and down my legs and thighs. So the thing with her name, I heard J first, but I heard Jody. And I didn't want to push that any further, hoping and seeing if you would, recognize her. But does her name have a K in it? Is it like a K, like C or K?
Catherine.
Okay, Catherine.
So her name was Lynn Catherine. Lynn Mary
Okay.
Catherine.
Okay. Yeah, she is
Hated the
definitely.
Catherine part, so she always yeah, so I think maybe that might have something to do with it. Because I don't know, that was pretty yeah, that's crazy.
Does
And
she
then you said
did she have kids
yeah,
too?
yeah. Well, 3, but I
Okay.
think maybe because maybe like the boy and the girl
Mm-hmm.
would be
Yeah.
because me and my brother are the oldest. Like my sister's a lot younger, but me and my brother are the same dad. You know what I mean? And she got remarried,
Okay.
so and had
Okay.
my sister. So maybe that's what Like,
Yeah.
why are you hating on Mandy? I don't know. Right? 32. 32 was very significant because 32 was when she had my sister
Oh.
and she got really sick and
Oh.
she stayed sick. And she died at 47. But like that whole time she was just sick, like after she had my sister, and she stayed sick, right? And I don't recollect any memories, but it's funny because before we did this, I heard you saying that we needed an item, and I was like, fuck, where did I put those fucking beads? And I'm running around the house, and I had Sarah, and I'm like, Sarah, do you know where I put my mom's fucking beads? And she's like, they're in your jewelry box. And I'm like, no, I've looked all through it. I can't find those fucking beads. And then I went into my closet and I have like this little dish that I had given her when I was a kid. and it said, Mama, it said, no, I gave it to her when I had my first boy, because she died. I was pregnant with my second, and she died then. And it said Grandma on it. And so it was in that, and I opened the lid, and that's where they were. And then, so here we are. I don't know if you can see them or not, but
I love it.
it's like, I
I
don't
love
know, rosary beads,
Yeah, yeah.
and my mom was like, oh, she was a ridiculous devout Catholic. Like, she would sleep in the church on the pews, right? Like, she would just go to the church at night, and like the priest would come in the morning and be like, "Oh, hi, Lynn. How are you? Oh, I see you brought a blanket, right?" So,
Oh,
but she always did her rosary with these beads. She would read the Bible, do her rosary with these beads. So,
I love it.
and I didn't get these beads back until I got these beads back from my best friend on my son's wedding day. She found them in an old box and brought
Oh,
them in a thing as a gift to me on my son's wedding day, so that
oh,
my mom could be there with us.
I love
So I have carried these around with me, and they're really like, dollar store kind of rosary. They're just plastic, cheap thing, right? But I don't
that
know.
is 100%. That is her
It's the
showing
first time I've ever seen
and
her.
telling you that she's with you. Um, I did write down, I asked her for the symbolism, and I immediately got butterfly. And I asked her a little bit more specific, because a lot of people use butterflies as symbols. And she said case, like a casing. And so then I said, okay, what kind of casing? And she said beads. Ask her about the beads, ask her about the necklace. And so when you said that they were in that little box, that was her validating, and that they that they were in the casing. I'm assuming that's what that means. Uh
No, my daughter and I
Butterfly
went,
resonate with you?
my daughter and I went for a walk 2 weeks ago on the beach. Having, we were both just having like, my extra energy sort of affecting the whole world day. So we went out to go kind of ground ourselves in nature. So we went and we took a walk along the beach, and I was walking, and there's a lot of driftwood, and I collect driftwood because I make, crystal things out of
Oh,
driftwood
yeah.
and stuff. And so I went over to pick up this piece of driftwood, and I looked, and on like this, there was a bigger log, like an old tree that had, washed up or whatever. And quite literally sitting on that stump was a monarch butterfly. And
Oh,
I thought that, I was like, oh my God, look at that. Right. But it was like perfectly preserved. Like, it landed and, spread its wings a little bit and died that way.
oh my
Like,
God.
it was perfect. So I just kind of very gently scooped it up, and I brought it home, and it's because I don't really know what to do with it, but I knew that it was there for me for a reason. So I brought it home, and I put it in a little clear container that's in my closet beside the dish. So,
Oh, so
I want to
that's,
say my mom's saying hi. So it's,
yeah, yeah, that's an
yeah,
understatement. Oh,
yeah.
yay. Um, 4th of July or fireworks, um, is there anything that, because that was when I was honing in on her energy, it was like, pew, pew, like the 4th of July fireworks up in the sky is what I saw. Um,
I don't
but
know. She always used to say that, I was a Spitfire, and, like I
okay,
don't.
because I will say, um, I wrote down fireworks and then I wrote down like a firework. So that could have been the energy, either her energy or, I'm not sure. But immediately after that, she told me she was sad, and she did have a hard life, but now is happy and jumping around and laughing, and is like, that was kind of what I associated with possibly being part of the like a firework, just burst of free energy, so to speak. But I just wanted you to know that she absolutely she has blossomed, and she has the most beautiful radiating energy. Like that glow, that sphere that we had talked about earlier, and surrounding us with that, like that is what it looks like when I see her. It's just, there's this, that filter that you can put on your pictures on like Snapchat or whatever that makes you like glow. Like there's glowy all around you. That's what it looks like with her. And she's just smiling and just so full of she just wants it to be known, like, I am so happy and I am present, like I am here with you and for you. So that's what I got. So who else wants to, do you guys want to? Yeah. Oh, and then Carrie, you got your hand raised. Tanya, do you want to go? And then does that work?
No, it's fine.
Get it, girl.
So I just got a little bit. It was a man and wearing a leather vest. I smelled cigarette smoke. I don't know if he was a smoker or if he was just around smoke. It wasn't like this person is a smoker kind of thing. It was just some smoke, some cigarette smoke. I don't know if he was a biker. That was my first impression, but I don't know if he's just one of those guys that wore a leather vest, that has a leather vest. I don't know if that is when he was younger, what he was like when he was younger, because the music, I heard that he likes oldies. So I don't know if that was someone like a guy that was into motorcycles in the 50s and now is, as you know, we know them older, has a great sense, had a great humor. Great humor about him, like his and just warm, just a warm dude. Like but I can't tell. I have younger versus older, so he's younger than he is older, but I don't know if that's, I don't know. But that's the little I got, and just, yeah, just great humor.
Did can you ask him for like a first name letter or a letter from his name?
No,
No.
It's
Oh, okay.
he was-
That's
he was
okay.
there. He was there. He was
Coming in hot.
Yeah, he's like, maybe he's like a short and sweet, kind of not a chatty guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was just like
Oh,
great humor and warmth. And I don't know if that resonates with anyone, but that's what I got.
does that resonate with anyone? No?
Someone shows
Sounds
up.
like my ex-husband.
Oh, you're
Is he dead?
Jody's team is just like, hey, we're over here. We're over here.
Yeah, so
Party of 10. Oh,
um, but yeah, that's
I love it.
I don't know if that's I don't know if that's his image of himself as
Yeah.
opposed to how we think about, like, I was thinking, yeah, like, yeah.
So I was also thinking when you were talking about it, the leather vest, I immediately went to my symbolism of like gang, not gang related, but like had a specific either crew or gang or group of affiliation of some sorts. And that was, and then you immediately said in his younger years, he could have been a biker. I felt like maybe it was he was like had affiliation with either like a gang or a club or a group of like an affiliation group when he was younger. Like that was kind
Yeah,
of the
that was
feeling.
what that's why I was like, I think that's how he thinks of himself,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
opposed to he could have passed when he was 90, but how he thinks of himself is when he's younger.
And see, and I feel like it's like a younger energy.
Jody, why are you laughing?
Oh,
Oh, because my ex-husband was affiliated with the Hells Angels when he was in his younger days.
oh
And
shit.
he
Okay.
he always, oh yeah, and he always wore a leather vest. I'm sorry, it's just really
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
yeah.
Did you,
What did you say he looked like?
I was gonna say, did you get like a hair color or anything?
Um, no, I just saw the vest. I smelled some smoke, but like couldn't tell if he was a smoker or if
He was
he
a heavy smoker. He died of lung cancer.
Oh, there you go. There
Hey,
that
smoke. And he was younger versus older, and and there was great humor. He had a great sense of humor.
Oh, he is really funny. Yeah, he's a
So
jackass.
yeah,
But he was
Jody's team
funny.
was here as well.
I'm sorry.
Don't you ever apologize.
Don't
They
apologize.
aren't. They're not
So
apologizing
he wasn't, and he
whatsoever.
didn't. You like I said, he wasn't overly chatty. He just like popped up, and my sense is that his hair was medium brown, but I don't know. That was I just saw the vest, like I saw the vest, and then smelled the smoke, and then just had a couple feelings. Warmth, that he was warm. And that's about it.
I love it. I love it. Thank you.
Jody's like, yeah, well, guess I needed some support. Okay, got some.
Okay,
Can't
next.
some, but they're here.
Exactly. They're like, girl, we've been saying this. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Tanya. Carrie, what are you doing over there? What'd you get?
Something in my eyeball. No, so I don't know, it was kind of weird. Like I got like three different things that came in. Um, but I saw the same book that I saw Monday when I was trying to ground before my class. And I was like, no, I don't have, like, I can't, whatever. Like, you got to get out of here. I can't focus on this. Like, get out of here. So I saw like the same brown book, like, but it's an older book and like a thick chapter book, like thick. Um, and it was a man sitting in an old wood chair with like a high back and like the arms are wood, and it was like a velvet cloth, and it was like medium brown with creams in it, and the man was sitting there and his leg was crossed over, and it was his right leg over his left leg, and he had a white button down shirt, and the lighting was like medium low. It was definitely an evening feeling, and he was reading the book, and his shoes were brown and his hair was brown, and it was very like, I couldn't focus on his face, but his hair was like, it was very neat and brushed and parted and short, and just he was very clean. And he was reading the book, and it felt like a nightly activity, and that was his tradition of love. And then my right hand got warm, like a hand was put on it, and that was okay. Sorry, I don't know what emotions coming in right now because it's not mine. Um, but like, so much love, but it wasn't traditional, and he didn't know how to love in the traditional hugging way. Sorry. And
Okay, don't apologize, honey.
and
But
he
if
like,
just real
he
quick,
would,
if it's too much, you can tell
no,
him
no,
to
no,
slow
no, no.
down.
And he
Okay.
would, he closed the book and he smiled and said, "Okay, my child, off to bed."
Oh,
But there was a lot of love, but he didn't know how
Jody,
to
are you
share it.
okay? Sorry. Jody, are you okay?
oh.
So I don't know. That one was the strongest. And the book tried to come in Monday night, and I just was like, I don't know what this is. This isn't where I'm at. Like, there will be another time that you can come to me. And there was a lot of love. Um, and and he's sorry that he didn't know how to like hug and verbalize that love. And that one was the strongest one. And then after he closed the book and said, you know, off to bed, then he like that, like stayed to the side, like he wanted to stay. And then I got like half of a woman in red beaded cloth, but this feels, I don't know, separate, like red cloth or red beaded cloth or sequins cloth. And it was like very flowing. And it was, I don't know, it was really flowing. And there was like a black high heel. Like I got a leg. I got a leg with a high heel. Um, and black hair to her chin, and very, very lively, very like speakeasy jazz club. Um, and the music was fun, and she was laughing, and there was dancing, and she just said, "Come on, let's go, have a little fun in your life." And then like went off into the club, and like that's where that one ended.
Andrea, does that sound familiar to you?
It didn't until she said that the man had a difficult time expressing himself for love because that's the way he was towards me. I knew he loved me, but he didn't come out and hug me, or he didn't say he loved me. But I always told him, because of that, I always told him that I loved him. But I don't know about the book. It might have been a newspaper.
But what about the female?
My mom.
'Cause I remember when I did your reading, I literally pretty much described the woman that Carrie just described, I believe, didn't I?
Well, we kind of thought it was like my grandma.
Yeah. And when she said the flapper, come on, let's go dance.
It's very 20s feel, and it's very, and it's
Okay.
and it's
And
have a
that was
little
what I
fun.
said. I
Like
said 20 to 30s.
the messages have a little fun. Like it's time to lighten up and have a little fun. That is the message.
And that's interesting you say that, because Jody said exactly that's what my dad has told me to do now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like now, like in this moment, like
Yes.
not, she
Enjoy life.
wasn't, yeah, it wasn't about her. Like she was having fun, and now it's your
Yeah.
time to have fun. But the man in the chair, it was definitely a book, and that reading the book at night out of the book was the only way that he could show love. Not show love, but that was the bond. That was the bond. It wasn't traditional. That was the bond. And then the third one was like a window looking onto, and this was it, and like it was weird. I don't know, but it was a window looking out onto a cityscape, and it like the cityscape was like dark, like it was nighttime and kind of sunsetish, and the buildings were dark and you could see a few lights on, but the window looking out was from a wilderness view. But that was all I got there. And then everything just kind of, and I thanked everyone. So, like, that was like the emotion that came out was definitely the emotion of the man. But someone needs to have a little fun. And then the building, I don't know, there wasn't, that one was just, it was more of like a view. I don't know. That one was quick and gone. And maybe it was because I was overwhelmed with the man with the book and then the woman. So I don't know if that resonates with anyone, but I feel
So
like Jody's resonating with the book,
I was
and
gonna
Andrea's grandmother is
Yes.
resonating and telling you to have fun.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say is, Andrea, I feel like the energy I felt was, the female energy that Carrie mentioned, that was your, one of your
Grandma?
loved ones. And then the male was, a different person's. So yeah, Jody, what do you have to say? What resonated with you
Well,
other than the obvious? Gosh.
every
I
night when we were kids, every night, every single night, we lived with my grandparents.
Mhm.
My grandpa, he was a really wonderful man. But he wasn't the huggy, lovey kind of whatever, kind of man. But every single night before we went to bed, my brother and I, um, he would read from a storybook, and he would sit in his chair and he would have his smoking jacket on, which it wasn't white, it was kind of white, like it had like white through it. It was kind of like wispy, but it was like sweatery, right? And it was a button down, like old man sweater from 1945, right? Like it just, that's kind of what it
like
looked like.
Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so every night, every single night before bed, I still have the book that he read to us from. I read to my kids from it. And like in the chair was an old wooden, it wasn't a wing back, but
Mhm.
it was high up, and like it was higher than, like furniture
Yeah, it
back
wasn't
in the
it wasn't
40s.
a traditional wingback. Like it was
Yeah,
just
like,
like it was very hard to describe because it wasn't a wingback. Like
yeah, and my grandma had made cushions for it that were like cream, but they had like kind of like rust sort of in them, but they were cream, but like they were cushions on the chair, and it was an
Mhm.
old, really old, big old wooden chair, like kind of throne looking, but not throne looking. Do you know, like, what I mean? But
Mhm.
big, like the back of it and he was over 6 foot, so it was always like that was his chair, and it was in his corner, and he would sit in the chair with his brown leather slippers on. So like when you said that about the shoes, I'm like, nope, that's my great. Like, so I don't know why. Like maybe my mom is with my ex-husband and my grandpa, and that's why they came in so strong. But that
Oh,
to
yeah.
me is crazy, like, because that's when you said that, okay, and that's exactly what it wasn't like my child, but it was like, okay, you know, off to bed kiddos or whatever,
Mm.
you know, it was kind of like that. But us sitting and we just sat in front of him and every night, like I can remember that like it was like it happened yesterday, right? Like it's, you know, so that's my
Yeah,
grandpa.
and it felt like more than one child like sitting around him at his
Me and my
feet.
brother. It was always
Yeah,
me and my brother. Yeah,
yeah.
always.
So,
And
Jordy, what do you think of this of being sort of like two similar people that's being described?
Yeah. So, that was kind of where that was why I wanted, the specific symbolism for them to bring in, more specific symbolism that, um, was specific for the person that this message needed to, get across to. So, like how Jody just said, the second you said the leather shoes,
the book, it was
in the
definitely a
book.
very thick,
Okay.
bigger book. It would, yes, like we're talking like 4 inches
It was
thick.
like so okay, but it was like the old school
Yeah,
one of, you know, probably it was
like
published in like 19,
yeah,
you know, 50 whatever, but it was old, it was bound, it was
yes,
thick, and it is the like
tannish,
yeah, like
tannish.
old school Grimm's Book of
Yeah,
Fairy Tales is exactly what it is. And
yeah,
it's in my
Yeah.
closet. It's in a box. Like it, you know what I mean? He
yeah,
Mhm.
just used to read out of the Grimm's Book of Fairy Tales. And back then, you know, like okay, they condense it down to whatever it is now, but I have a version now that's half the size, but back then, like it was, you know,
yeah.
it was a
Like
monster
it
book.
was a
Like when he closed it, it would go boof, you know what I
mhm,
mean? And that was it made that sound, and he like every night read us stories. We moved away to Edmonton for a year and a half, and he read from that book on cassette tape in like 1981, you know what I mean? And every day would mail, like put it in the mail and send it so that we would get a cassette tape like once every couple of days, right?
Yeah.
Of him reading us
And
stories out of that
see,
book.
so
did
that
he
is more
live like
more
more
specific.
in like a rural
Oh,
area and you guys moved to a city?
He they did, but they so they lived outside of London, right? And it was very like country
But was it
farmy.
rural, like
Yeah,
cottagey?
yes.
And then because I feel like what I saw, the cottagey rural feeling, and then like a city, like, but it was weird because it was disconnected, like in a sense. So maybe it was the rural feeling of there. And when you guys moved away, did you move more to like a city? Is
Yeah,
that
we moved.
what I'm
Yeah,
seeing?
we moved to a
Like,
very busy city, yes.
yes. Okay. So that makes more sense. The window, and maybe he couldn't see it, but like that's how he was connecting with you.
Oh, maybe.
Because
Yeah.
that didn't make sense to me. I'm like, why am I feeling this and seeing this? And it was very short at the end. And so, but it felt connected to the man in the chair. I don't know.
So, Jordy, so what I'm trying to determine here is the fact that it wasn't my dad and my grandma that came through tonight.
it was
Your grandmother.
it was your grandmother. It was your grandma that I felt. The second Carrie started talking about the woman
Yeah, have a little fun
dress,
felt more for Andrea or someone else. That didn't feel like it
there
was
was
for
no
Jody at all.
association with that
Okay.
energy. That's what I
Yeah,
felt.
Just to be
yeah,
clear, that's all, so I
Yeah,
understand.
no. Yep. Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I was feeling as
Like
well when
you need to live a little, you need to have a little fun, you need to shake it up. Like that was the message that I was getting. Like, come on, let's go. It's time. Like you gotta shake it up. Like I don't know. It was definitely it's time to have fun. It's time to shake it up and
I gotta
yeah,
get out more than just doctor's appointments.
It's
and
time
that
to
was the
just
feeling.
live.
Yeah,
That's
that was
what.
the feeling. It's time to live. Have a little fun. Let's go. Come on. Like that's what I
Mhm.
wrote down. Um so yeah, those were the things that I got. And I have to use the restroom.
You're fine. I just I had to eat. I was so starving. Zoom user. Who's a Zoom user?
Me?
I just noticed that. So it's Liana. Hi.
Oh, hi.
I've been popping in when I can. So when Carrie was talking about the window, at first it didn't make sense probably to everyone, but as she was explaining a little bit more, it reminded me of like me and my grandpa. So I live in South Carolina, North Myrtle Beach, right in that area, and it's where I'm in the country, so there's just woods everywhere. And he used to live in Puerto Rico, but then he moved to Allentown, and they live in this. He lived in this like big apartment tower, looking out into the city. So
Mm.
that kind of reminded me like he was, because I didn't get to see him often. It was we talked on the phone all the time, and every once in a while like I would go see him and he would always ask me, when's the next time you're going to come down? When am I going to see you again? So to me that kind of hit a little bit with me because it might have been him
Yeah.
with that connection. That's just that's what came to me when she said, oh, you know, that makes more sense.
Well, and what you just said makes more sense because the popping in, Jody's grandpa popping in, Andrea's grandma popping in, and then Jody's grandpa just briefly throwing something else in that didn't really that didn't work for me. So, Carrie, you literally have like a squadron over there. So,
What do you mean?
this is Leanna. Leanna.
Hi.
Hi. I was wondering who Zoom user was.
I know.
I know. I'm so sorry.
I'm just kidding.
It didn't even give me a chance to like set my name up or anything. It just like popped in. And I guess
Yeah,
I have to go like set that up now.
no worries. But
I'm sorry.
do you want to tell her what you just said? Because that
Yeah.
I really feel like that is
So
where
when you were talking
where it
about the
led to.
window,
Mhm.
yeah, I think when you started explaining it a little bit more, it at first it didn't. It was like, oh well, I don't know. But then when you started talking about like looking out, one side was like trees, one side was city in the window. So
Mhm.
I live in South Carolina, down by the beach, North Myrtle Beach, and I live in the woods. Right, there's woods all around me, like I'm in the country. But my grandpa, he before he passed, lived in a huge apartment complex in the city. And he would always ask me, when are you going to come see me? I didn't get to see him often because he's in PA and I'm down here. That's like 8 to 10 hours apart. And we talked on the phone all the time. So to me, that kind of hit a little bit because it was like we're in two different areas, and where he was at and where I was at, just kind of like it it made sense to me at the end when you've explained it a little bit more.
Yeah, that could have totally, because it did, I don't know. I was just trying to make sense of it. And that sounds like that could have been, yeah, because it was definitely an American city. Like
Yeah, he lives in
it,
Allentown, PA.
yeah, it
Does his
was,
name does his name start with a P or have a like a P in it?
No, his name is Angel, so it starts with an A, but my uncle, who is his first son, his name is also Angel, but his name is Pito. So
Ito.
that's what they call him. So that was one of the things. They look exactly like it's literally like copy and paste. So we always tell him, hey, you look just like grandpa. Like, do you realize that you look just like grandpa? So
That
That
might have
could
been the
be it.
And
symbolism.
it did feel like more of a female longing from the countryside looking at the city side. Like it felt more female, but you know, I wasn't sure if it had to do with the man with the book or but they also felt very separate. But that one was the shortest. And as we were like coming back into class, like I just kind of thanked everyone who had come in and what I had written down and then just kind of closed all that back off. So um but yeah, that might have been and it felt like a female longing, like wanting to visit the city. So maybe that's what I was picking up on. And that was definitely the rural side with the window looking out onto the city.
Yeah, that makes sense. One of the biggest things that I regret all the time is not going to see him as often as I could before he passed.
Is there
I
like
was
a river like on the city side? Like a river or
um,
like a harbor or a river? I don't know. There was also like I don't
no,
know.
but he loves boats.
Okay, because there was water in between. Like
It
I don't it
so
was
I've got a
yeah.
tattoo. It's an anchor and it's for him because one of the things that he absolutely loved was boats, and that was all he
Okay.
did was talk about growing up. He talked to me about boats, so that could have been in because I asked him, my symbol was
Mhm.
to do something of like that because that
And
then
the
I would
water
know
was definitely connected to the city. Like I
that's
like
where I'm
there
at
was
at the
definitely
beach.
like harbor water, I don't know, feel, but it was connected to the city, whereas the longing was coming from the rural window side.
That could, yeah, that could definitely be it because it's one of my biggest regrets that I deal with a lot is just not being not going to see him, and the only time that I did go see him was at his funeral. And before that was this was the
Mhm.
last picture that I've got of him. And this was about a
Oh,
year. This is my grandma who's still alive. And then
oh,
this is my grandpa who passed, I
Bush,
want to say a year. This was a year before.
you're so cute.
Yeah, and the
Oh.
I didn't get any like name or voice or anything like I said, like we were kind of coming back into, you know, into class, but the longing was coming from probably you, like your side, and it was very peaceful and okay and happy from the city side.
Sorry, my cat is
So
emotional support
that
cat.
Oh, girl, all of our cats come in once we start working with spirit. It's like every single time.
I have
but yeah,
lilac on my lap too.
See? And
Yeah,
cherry bomb's in there eating right now. So you're good.
this
You're in
is
good company.
Noodles. He
I,
doesn't
I
my
like
have
goats are
he
pinned
doesn't
up,
like when
so
I'm
no, I'm just kidding. My goats are in their
I,
pins, so I
I
wasn't
have a
cuddling any
question
of
for
them.
Carrie.
Yeah.
I think I put it in the chat
Oh,
and the description of the lady that I was talking about. Does it resonate at all with you? Anybody that you could think of?
no, no, it doesn't. Um, Reminds me of Marilyn Monroe. When I
So
read it, that
I,
was what came to my mind was Marilyn Monroe. Um, but
I
no, it
felt,
doesn't.
Carrie, I felt when I put under Andrea under your message, I felt that the male that Tanya had talked about, that really I felt like that was pulling towards you.
Towards me.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes.
Um, I don't know my dad, so it could have been, but
Okay.
I have no idea what that feeling even is.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Oh,
so
Tanya,
that I
you're
don't know.
you're muted. Get it.
Um, but yeah, like I don't but it didn't sound like any of the pictures that I had seen of my dad, so I didn't I think that was like I didn't feel connected to the description of it. I feel like Jody was very connected to that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think my dad had it came to me once like gosh 21 years ago when I was having holding a circle with a friend of mine and and it was very quick. It was very, you know, my first interaction and I was like, okay, too much, you know, and so that that vibration was different. That feeling was different that than what Tanya was saying. And I have a few memories. I just don't it didn't it didn't feel the same.
Maybe it was Marilyn Monroe that was coming through to me. Is
Right? I
that
mean, I don't
possible?
Very could be, absolutely, because I personally have a very strong connection with her energy. I've always like felt like I was, which sounds so weird, but I feel like I have like this reincarnation of her. Like I know things. I've always, ever since I was a little girl. So
I mean,
that could very well
yeah,
be it.
as soon as
Uh,
I read it, the only thing I could picture was Marilyn Monroe.
and see, I did not. I didn't even picture that. But I want to say, Leanna, were you the one that said, funny, I got red hair and orange, a bunch of or oranges? Did you say that?
Yeah, I got a lot of different things being newer to this. It was just like a lot of everything. And as everybody was
Yeah.
talking, I've got like just like arrows to like, oh, well, this kind of made sense and this is what connected. But I got like orange. I smell oranges. I got like I heard a flutter. Like at first I was like, oh, that could be a butterfly, but then I was like, no, that sounds kind of more like a bird. Orange came up a lot.
So, that hit me hard. My grandma Pam, she was a redheaded firecracker, and um she always wore every single day since she found out about it, that so what are those little oranges? They start with an S, like Samana, some it's the bath or the Body Shop's orange lotion, body lotion.
Satsuma.
Yeah, Satsuma. So it was the Satsuma oranges body lotion, and she would freaking cake cover her whole body after she'd take a bath, and then she'd put her Shalimar on. She'd spray her Shalimar on top of it, and that when you said a bunch of oranges, I'm like, yeah, that followed her
Yeah.
everywhere. It followed her everywhere. Like she could walk out of a room, and you could still smell it. Smelled like fresh oranges, like everywhere. So that really hit me. I was like, oh, Grandpammy, you little woman.
Yeah,
She
I've wrote
is
it down like 3 times. I didn't even notice. Or like when I look looking at it, I'm like, geez, is orange, 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 red hair, female.
Mhm. Yep.
It's all on here. That's
Yes.
pretty cool.
Well, and she doesn't really go um or she doesn't really come in very much. Oh, bye, Tanya. Thank you for everything. You guys are awesome. I will say I have to run and grab my daughter from work. Her car is officially done. So mama has to freaking drive her everywhere. Oh no. I don't mean done like in a good way. I mean it is like done. It is gone. It is out of this. It's
I
done.
thought you meant
I
fixed. I
wish.
was so excited for
I
you.
wish. But I have to go and pick her up. So I am going to stop the recording now. But before I do, I absolutely love everything and everyone that came through. And I want you guys to understand that when walking away from this class, Leanna, you had not attended any of the other Claire classes, correct?
I attended one.
Okay. So with that being said, I always try and tell people when they're like, oh, I haven't taken any of the other classes, and so I need to do that first. I want everyone to know who watches this recording that that's not necessary. Everything that you need for class, for life, for working with your clairs, for working with your spirit guides and this energy is within you. You just have to tap into it. And there are these little small guided meditation techniques, and there's all these techniques out there, but it's pretty much up to you to make that decision and open yourself up and allow that energy. And now that you have sensed what it feels like, you can work with it and you can practice with it, and you can start to try and understand and comprehend it. And slowly but surely, it will begin coming in a lot smoother, a lot more legible, understandable. And I am so happy that you came and joined us. And I'm going to go into my sacred place tonight, and I'm going to talk to my grandpammy, because I have not talked to her for a while now, and her making her presence known, it was just like, I haven't smelled that Satsuma smell since before she passed away. So it was just like, oh, grandma, I need to see you. I need to say hi to you. So cherish that sacred place. Go there often. Go see your loved ones. They want you to be there. They want to see you. They love you so much. And I love you guys so much. And I appreciate you guys coming in tonight. And with that, I'm going to stop the recording.